Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kayla, and if you're interested in lifestyle and beauty videos sprinkled with magic, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how much I spent on my trip to Disneyland, and it's been a while since I did a budget with me video, and I kind of stopped doing them because I wasn't sure if you guys were super interested in them, but this was a requested video that I do a how much I spent on a Disneyland trip video, and I haven't been on a Disneyland trip all year until now, so we can finally film this video. But I'm going to be sharing with you guys how much I spent on hotel, park tickets, food, charging, all that stuff. So that's what we're going to dive into today. So I wrote down all of my expenses on this Excel spreadsheet here, and then I categorized them, and then I'm going to total everything up. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And before I dive into it, I do want to say that I did go on this trip with my boyfriend, so we split a lot of the costs too. So I didn't completely pay for everything, and he probably bought some of his own food and maybe a few merch items, but other than that, this is pretty encompassing of like everything that we spent. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive into it. So there are 5 different categories, so charging, lodging, shopping, food, and tickets. So we'll dive into charging first, and we decided to drive down to Anaheim this trip. So we drove down in my Tesla Model 3, and with an electric car you do have to charge. So to give you some perspective, driving down to Southern California from the Bay Area is about 379 miles, so in total it takes about like 6 hours. So we charged about 6 times total, and I will preface that by saying that when we left I didn't have a full charge because I had to go pick up Matthew the night before. So in the morning we had to charge, and then I had to charge 2 additional times. Like we stopped once in Kettleman City and charged, and then we stopped in Studio City to make sure that we had like a full charge before like stopping at the hotel. So that was one way, and then on the way back, so we charged once before we left again, and that wasn't like that expensive of a charge, and then we charged again in Kettleman City, and then we charged again like when we got to the bay, so we weren't like dead on battery. So that's pretty much all the charges, and it wasn't that bad. Like the most expensive charge was $28.56, and I feel like that's really good, especially with gas prices these days. Like I remember for my old car, I had a Honda Civic, I paid about like $40 to $50 each tank, so I feel like $28 is really good for a full charge. So in total, for all of those different charges, we only paid $119.17. And I feel like this trip we definitely saved a lot of money because we decided to drive, because then we didn't have to pay for plane ticket, and you know, plane tickets can be super expensive. So that was a huge win there, and I feel like that was a pretty good price for charging. Like this was my first road trip really with my car, so I don't have any other experience, but I think it was pretty good. So now to move on to lodging. So this trip we stayed at the Hilton Anaheim Convention Center, and it's about like a 20-minute walk to Disneyland, I guess. So we didn't have to like pay for transportation to get from our hotel to the parks, which was really nice. So I booked this a while ago, so in total it was about $752. We stayed 3 nights, and we also had to pay for parking since we did park at the hotel. So in total it was $752.46. And I feel like that wasn't that bad, honestly. I'm not sure. But since we did have to pay for parking, we did have to pay the extra $24 for self-parking, and then there was like a bunch of taxes that just came with the room. So in total we did spend $752.46 on the hotel, which was a huge expense within itself. I typically try to only spend like under $150 like a night, I would say. Like that's pretty typical for me, so I feel like $752 wasn't like too bad. I don't know how much you guys typically spend on your hotel, but that's just how much we spent. And of course, we split $752 divided by me and Matthew. So technically I did spend half, but I do want to just be transparent and share with you guys how much everything is. For shopping, we definitely did some damage here. If you guys saw my last video, I shared with you guys everything that I got on my recent trip to Disneyland. So I actually got these earrings and I'm wearing them right now, but I think they're super cute. But anyways, back to how much we spent. We definitely did spend a lot of money. I think I did a majority of my shopping on the first night because that World of Disney trip was $159.94, and then I ended up buying a few other random things throughout my time there. So in total on shopping I spent $293.87, and I feel like that's good in comparison to how much I've spent on other Disney trips. Let me actually compare it to how much I spent at Walt Disney World, because I know that was a huge number. I'm gonna play the video right now, and if you guys haven't watched that video, then go ahead and check it out right now. Okay, we spent a lot less than we did at my trip at Disney World. For my Disney World trip, I spent $777.94 on merch, which is absolutely insane. So to only spend under $300, I feel like that's pretty good, and I do have to give myself some credit because I know a lot of the items that I bought were actually for gifts. So in total, I feel like I did spend a little bit less, so I feel like that's pretty good, but we'll see how much I spend on my upcoming trip to Disneyland. I have a trip planned for November, so we'll compare prices and see like how much I spent this trip to that trip. Moving on to food, because obviously we have to eat when we're on a trip. In total, we spent $178.31. So we did 2 sit-down dining experiences, 1 at each park. So we did Lamplight Lounge at California Adventure, and Matthew paid for that, and then I paid for Carnation Cafe, and that was like pretty good. I feel like that was only $55.33, which I feel like is really good. Let me actually check if that's accurate because I feel like we got a lot of food. So yeah, I did check my bank account and we did only spend $55.33, and I feel like that's really good because we got like 3 things. So I got the skillet, we got the Mickey Mouse waffles, and then Matthew got like this breakfast burger, I want to say. I forgot, but either way, $55.33 for sit down dining I feel like is really good. And yeah, I feel like that's really good. I also feel like because we didn't drink any alcohol on this trip, that definitely saves a lot because like a drink could be like $15 to $20. So $178.31 I feel like is really good, and this is also including everything that we got like on the road trip and everything that we got at the parks, so I feel like that's really good. And the last category that I'm going to talk about is tickets. So in total, the tickets were $497.36, and divided by 2, that is $248.68. So each of our tickets were $248.68. So, you know, like a ticket's a ticket, but we do 2 days, 1 park, and because we don't do park hoppers, I feel like that saves us like a little bit of money, so I feel like that's pretty good too. So in total, we spent $1,841.17, and I feel like that's not so bad. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know because I really just don't have anything to compare this to. So I think like on my next trip, I definitely will do another how much I spent on my Disneyland trip video. And I think that video will also be interesting too because we are flying. So we have to pay for our flights, and then we also have to pay for Ubers to get like to and from the airport. So that should be really interesting. Now that you guys heard how much we spent on our trip to Disneyland, I would love to know how much you guys typically spend on your trips to Disneyland, like whether you fly or whether you drive. Like I would just love to know so I can kind of like compare. I want to say like on this trip we didn't splurge a whole lot. We didn't do multiple sit down dining. I feel like I was pretty conservative with how much merch I bought. Like sometimes I would buy a lot, and I feel like we didn't eat that much. Like we definitely ate, but we weren't like overeating where we were like constantly stuffed. So I feel like $1,841.17 is pretty good, especially because like obviously we split like the hotel tickets and charging and everything. So I feel like that's really good. So that pretty much wraps it up. I think a prediction for my next Disney trip is that we'll definitely spend like a little more just because we're flying, that's already expensive, and then we also have to pay for Uber, and then we have to pay for hotel and everything. And also when we go in November, we're also going to be doing the Festival of Holidays, so we'll be eating a little bit more, so I think that'll be more expensive. So I'm predicting on my next Disney trip I will be spending more. We'll see. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. I know this video is really short, but hopefully it was really informative and it gives you guys an idea of how much a Disney trip would be. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. If you guys liked it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below how much you guys spend on a Disney trip, or let me know like what your Disneyland budget is. I would love to know. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video from me. Let's stay connected. Follow me on my socials. They're both just Kayla's Ever After. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!